Everybody. This is a message from Mama Neptune. I'm going to put this on both my YouTube channel and on my Facebook. I wanted this message to get across the board, and it's basically about how I do my readings and what to expect from a divination when you book with me, okay? Okay, I'm going to tell you, okay? When it comes to booking a reading with me, I can't speak for any other spiritualist. I can only speak for myself. The reading is going to be what you need to know, what you need to hear, what you need to work on. Any type of situation that you're dealing with that, excuse me, needs to be addressed. Any type of healing that you need to make. Those are the things that are going to come up in a divination with me. With that being said, I always use your ancestors, and I communicate basically as a medium between what they're saying and you. I'm the liaison between you and other spiritual entities, okay? They come to me and they communicate with me the way that they want to, whether that's through clairaudience and I'm hearing, or clairvoyance where I'm seeing, claircognizance where I just know, or clairsentience where I'm feeling them. Whichever way they want to communicate with me, that's the way that they're going to communicate with me. I use a few different tools for divination. I use my tarot cards, I use my spirit board, I use my bones. I use my pendulum sometimes. It really just depends, you know what I'm saying, on what is being asked and what we're discussing. But that being the case, when we're using a reading that's a spiritual reading or a divination or a psychic reading, any of those fall into the same category. Your result is not going to be the same as somebody else's. What somebody else's ancestors want them to know, or what they want them to work on, or what they need to hear is different from you, because everybody's path, everybody's journey is different. We have different families that we come from. We have different standards that we're expected to uphold. So don't come into any reading that you have with me with any type of expectation of what you think is going to come up. Now, granted, if you did have something that you wanted me to discuss, like if you wanted something that you wanted me to work on, if that was something that you had in your energy and that was something that you wanted me to pick up on, then definitely by you feeling and thinking those things, I would be able to see that in a reading with you as well. But all of my readings that are timed are going to be general. We're going to discuss what the spirits have to say to you. And then after we go over that, if there's time permitted in the reading, then we can go over things like specific questions that you may have about any other topic or anything like that. But at the end of the day, your reading is for you. Your spirits want you to know what they want you to know. Because at the end of the day, they walk with you. They seeing things in a way that other people cannot. The information that your spirits will give me is different from what my spirits will give me about you. Okay. And a lot of times, especially with the first reading, depending on how I feel about your ancestors, how they communicate with me, I may or may not choose to use them in future readings. But I always will start off with your ancestors, because it's really kind of like you're coming to me because they sent you to me. They wanted you to come to me. They wanted me to speak to you. They wanted, you to hear their messages come out of my mouth. And so I'm going to honor that. But just depending on how they communicate overall, if I feel like their messages are clear for me to share with you, or if I feel like, their their energy is very strong, like, 'cause some ancestors be yelling and cussing and fighting, okay? And there's some ancestors that are more mild mannered. There's some, it just really depends because everybody's ancestors are different. So, based off of that, I will make a decision on how I will move forward in any other future readings. But I always let your ancestors spearhead a reading when you come to me, okay? What else do I want to say? Now, I don't only do spiritual readings. I don't just do tarot card readings or spirit board readings or anything like that. I do astrology readings as well. And astrology readings are a very different type of divination. That is just universal energy that is more so coming up in a sense that, it's just a matter of interpreting, why did I say interpreting? Interpreting the time scale of planetary energies and influences in your individual life and where that puts you in your life. So there's a lot of information that I can get from your astrology that will coincide with your readings, or they may not. They may be two different messages that happen simultaneously for you, or they could be the same message and you can find them both. It really just depends on where you're at in life, okay? But I do astrology readings. I do tarot readings. I do bone readings. I do a co-reading with another reader whose name is Dom, and we do numerology readings together. So we will go over your numerology pentacles, your transits, your birth card, your birth life path, and your challenges and everything like that. Those are recorded conversations, and we will email them to you. But that's something that I feature on my website. I do mediumship readings where if you're wanting to contact a specific loved one, they will be able to, come through me, and I'll be able to speak to you and share messages with them. And in some cases, they can even possess me and inhabit, my physical vessel, and I can talk to you as if I were them. So it really just depends. That type of reading is my most expensive reading because it is, the most energetically consuming. And with that being said, I do offer those readings. I also offer magical consultations because I do magic for clients. Now, I have to ask your spirits. I have to ask my spirits. We have to see if it's something that they will be willing to allow me to do. So before I do any work for anybody, you have to pay for a reading for me to do that work. Because I'm not going to do some work for you and your ancestors don't want me to do it. I'm not going to do some work for you and my spirits are saying, hey, they're not telling you the whole truth. They're fronting, they're lying. They're playing victim on something and they're not being responsible in what it is that they're doing. Because my spirits will tell me that type of stuff when it comes up, because I will ask what your responsibility in it is. I will ask, if that's something that this type of magic is something that will be a long-term solution for what it is that you're asking me to do, or if it's something that you're going to have to constantly manage, because sometimes that may not even be worth it. You know what I'm saying? To constantly have to come back and retouch. It's just like getting a lace wig or lace sew-in. Your hair is going to grow and then the wig's going to shift back, and you're going to have to constantly go back and get it fixed. So we have to just make sure that what is being taken place is going to work. So I have to ask my spirits, because I have a specific spiritual path that I'm on, and I have to adhere to certain spiritual laws and rules, and you do too. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, for me, I have to be given permission to do certain work. With that being said, if you want to see if that's something that you'd like me to do, you can always book a reading for me at my website, mamaneptune.com. Go to my specialty readings and you can see the magic consultation and you can get the reading there. If we do decide to move forward, then there is an additional fee for me to do the work. With that being said, I don't know if there's any other questions that you may have, but welcome to my channel. Welcome to my page. I am Mama Neptune, and I love to help people. This is my job. This is my full-time job. I'm a reader full-time. With that being said, I've said that a lot, huh? Well, I'm still, I'm your homegirl. Like, I'm the person that when you come to me, I'm going to talk to you as plainly as possible by what the spirit is saying. I'll try to make it pleasurable. I try to make it, not so scary, because when you're coming to somebody and you're getting a reading done, a lot of people always expect the worst. They think I'm going to tell them, hey, you're going to die, or, this crazy thing's going to happen to you. And sometimes things come up like, hey, this situation is like on your horizon and you want to be on the lookout for it. But I'm happy to be able to give you that heads up than for you to just go into something blind and not know. So if I'm giving you some information that's not the prettiest thing to hear, I don't want you to take it as though it's like so horrible and you can't like move forward, or like, I don't want you to feel stuck in nothing. I want you to understand that if there's a message that comes, it's because your spirits wanted you to know, and they want you to be prepared. And they've more than likely probably tried to talk to you before you came to me. But, a lot of us are oblivious to messages that we get from spirit. So they wanted me to tell you in plain English to your face, hey, this is what's going on. In my readings, I am very open. I'm very relaxed. I cuss a little bit, especially like when it comes to certain things where I can just see when you're digmatized by somebody. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, hey, the sex is good. He breaking your back out, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to be able to tell you, this person is not good for you. They ain't shit. Your ancestors don't like them. I'm gonna speak to you as if we've known each other forever, because at the end of the day, our spirits know each other. You came to me for a reason. You felt connected to me for a reason. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the spiritual work. So divinations and natal chart readings are two different types of readings that can take place, and they're both going to give you accurate information. It's just going to come differently, and it's going to address a different part of your life, but I do offer natal chart readings. And speaking of natal chart readings, I'm going to be posting Sex Astrology, a series where I'm going through the different signs, planetary influences and placements, and I'm going to be going through the housing systems, and going through all of that information so we can find out, what your love nature is. How do you deeply desire to be fucked? How do you make love? Where's your emotions behind that? What kind of people do you naturally attract? What kind of people are you naturally drawn to? And then we're going to talk about, compatibility. We're going to go in and we're going to talk about the hottest, most passionate aspects between you and your partner to look out for. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're in a relationship and the sex is kind of dull, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can look and see why. If you are in a relationship and the sex is just off the chain, then you can look and see why. If you are looking for the sex to be off the chain, then you know what to look for. When you go on your little Tinder and you ask them when their birthday is, and you just be on the slide trying to find out where they from, and then you plug in their little information, and you look up their little chart real quick, and you can see, oh, this dude has Mars in Capricorn, and it's conjunct with my sun, so that dick gonna be bomb, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what I'm gonna teach you. Okay, we're going to go over this. And so this is going to be for adults. Okay, adults. I trust that you're mature and responsible enough to see yourself out if the conversation gets uncomfortable. But I'm definitely going to be teaching you about what signs got big dicks. I'm going to be teaching you about, I'm going to teach you about, who's into the fetish life, what kind of fetishes they trying to be into. I'm gonna teach you about all kind of that, all kind of stuff, all kind of freaky stuff, because I can see it. And so, if you want a reading from me, I do offer natal chart readings. I offer solar returns, which I call the yearly forecast. I do transit readings. I also do like your love chart. And that's basically me looking at your synastry and your composite chart. And I'm reading them both together, telling you about your interactions with your loved one, as well as your like overall themes in your relationship and what this relationship is going to call you to do. You know what I'm saying? And to give you confirmation about that. So I'm not going to tell you, if I'm reading your cards, I will tell you, oh, don't be with this person. But if I'm reading your astrology, I'm not going to tell you that, because at the end of the day, I'm just going to tell you what the energies are and how they work, because there's really no such thing as a perfect relationship. There's going to be friction somewhere. There's going to be a desire to grow somewhere. Y'all are not going to agree on every single thing, because if you did, it would get boring. It's just the truth. So you're going to have to find some things where there is a little bit of friction, because the friction is what feels good. The friction, the bad times, the rough times, the arguments is where you can really value and appreciate the good times and the happy times and the times that you do agree with each other and the times that you do have good moments with each other. The arguing makes the cuddling feel so much better when you finally rest next to each other. So that's really why I'm not going to, my astrology readings are very different from my divination readings. But, there are times when I will use a little bit of both, just depending on, what the spirit is calling me to do for that reading for that moment. But I will also say this. When it comes to my readings, I will give you a 5-minute grace period. So if I call you on your appointment time, you have, a couple of minutes to get back to me. If I call you back within 5 minutes and you don't answer, I will move on. Okay. You will have to reschedule and book another reading. Now, granted, I don't have it to where it's super expensive to rebook. You have an option to go to the specialty readings on my page and book again for $15. So, if you've missed your appointment or something happened and, you can't reschedule, because you can reschedule on my website, but you have to give yourself enough time to reschedule. So if you can't do that, then you can book again and go through the specialty reading and follow the instructions that is on my website, and you will get your appointment back in place. Okay. With that being said, again, my name is Mama Neptune. I love to help my people out. I love to give you spiritual readings. If if the spirit wants me to do some magic for that ass, I would love to do some magic for that ass. It's just one of those things that we just got to make sure we're doing the right thing first. I got to make sure that I'm giving permission from the higher ups to do what I got to do. I'm not out here just doing anything and everything. I'm not out here just acting like I'm untouchable, because I have to understand that there is somebody that I have to answer to. And in a lot of cases, those are the deities and spirits that I work with. And I work with a lot of spirits, okay? And I work with my ancestors, and sometimes I may work with yours, just depending. I don't have a bunch of people that I am over, in the sense of I'm not, taking in a lot of people to be witches under me or nothing like that. I'm not doing anything where I'm teaching people how to be readers. But there have been times when people's ancestors have asked me to help, and in which case I will do that. So, you know, it depends on you, because I've had a couple people message me on my website in the little chat, and they've asked me if I was taking on people like to mentor and stuff. And I will tell you, it really just depends on what the spirit tells me. Okay. I'm local in Atlanta. I live in the east side though. So if you live out here in Atlanta, then that's cool. Maybe one day we can hang out. But if not, that's totally fine. Most of my readings, if not all of them, are done over the phone. I do some email readings, just depending on if you want, you know, something quick, fast, and cheap, and you're willing to, you know, get a cheaper reading, but it will be a little bit more impersonal because I'll email you the response. I think that's it. Again, my name is Mama Neptune. If you would like a book reading with me, you can go to my website, which is mamaneptune.com. Okay. I will be a lot more consistent with my YouTube uploads, because this is something that I really want to start putting myself, you know, I really want to start putting my energy into cultivating a very strong, powerful community on my channel. And so we will be doing things that can engage you to learn, but are also entertaining, because I realize that, you know, a lot of y'all really just want to be entertained. I want to try to teach you while I'm entertaining you. So it is my job to try to sprinkle in a little lesson here and there in these readings. So I decided I will revamp up the celebrity readings as they come. You know, when things are hot, when they're fresh, when they're, you know, things that are kind of juicy, I will do readings on them. I am going to do a mediumship series on my channel as well, where I'm going through the reading, like the chart, the natal charts, or just straight up, you know, calling down the spirits of people who we've revered in life. So I'm planning on doing like a Tupac and Biggie Smalls reading. They're going to be two separate readings, but I'm planning on doing that this month coming up in March. I'm also going to be doing that series that I told you guys about, which would be the sextrology. So we're going to, you know, we're going to have some things happening on Mama Neptune. I would really appreciate it if anybody can give me like comments below for like video editing software, because I would love to make my videos have a little bit more, you know, pop, pizzazz, and some, you know, make it just look a little bit more, you know, like a show. So anyway, it was good talking to you guys. Thank you so much for watching this long ass video of me just talking, explaining how Mama Neptune works and what my goals are for this channel. But it's great talking to y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.